Bro, this MVP race is so unserious, man. What does the NFL MVP award become? I know it's usually a quarterback award, and I understand that. I get it. It's most valuable player award, and the quarterback position is just the most impactful position in football. I get it. But if we're being honest, all of the top quarterbacks this season, at least by their standards, have had mediocre years so far at best. Mahomes is on pace to throw for the most picks of his career and is averaging the least yards per game of his career. Jalen Hurts is in his Jameis Winston era, throwing almost an interception per game. 150 of his 250 yards per game go to A.J. Brown, and scores most of his touchdowns getting pushed by grown men from the 1-yard line. And Lamar Jackson is running less than ever, which I know is because of his recent injuries and is probably for the best for, his health, but is also taking away his best ability, and has only thrown 13 passing touchdowns in 12 games compared to his 36 in 15 games back when he won his MVP. And all three of Jackson, Hurts, and Mahomes have a quarterback rating under 71. And yet they're the three frontrunners? Come on, man. And then there's Josh Allen. Or winless in overtime Josh Allen. The Bills as a whole have been disappointing. He's been disappointing, has turned into a turnover machine, 16 of them in 12 games to be more specific, and has the Bills at 6-6 on the verge of missing the playoffs. And yet somehow, he's tied on odds for the most valuable player award with Tyreek Hill? Bro, what are we doing? The man called his shot like Babe Ruth said, I'm going to do something that literally no one in the history of the National Football League has ever done. He says, I'm going to go for 2,000 yards in a season. Something not only he's never done, nobody literally ever has ever done. And 11 games into the season, he's on pace for 2,046. But this is how insane, with just looking at a statistics page instead of watching the actual football, that we've gotten here. His quarterback, Tua Tagovailoa, is far above him in the MVP odds right now. I think at 4th best. And I get it. Every yard for Tyreek is another yard for Tua. You statistics nerds piss me off so much. Let me be for real here. Tua is not the one running 25 miles per hour and juking people out of their shoes. I like Tua. I think he's a good quarterback that gets too much hate sometimes. But let's not pretend that he is more valuable to the Miami Dolphins than Tyreek Hill. Let's not pretend that if you replace Tua with an average quarterback, they'd be better off than if they replaced Tyreek Hill with an average wide receiver. So much of what they do offensively relies on what Tyreek opens up. And 42%, repeat, 42 whole percent of Tua's offensive production is coming from Tyreek. The question is not who has the most stats by the end of the year. The question is who is most valuable to their team. And brother, the 4 other quarterbacks we named might not have had a QBR above 72, which is still not great, right? But at least they had one above 60. Come on, bro. And he's 4th. All right, bro. At least we haven't gone completely insane and still have Christian McCaffrey above his quarterback, Brock Purdy, even if just barely. Wait, never mind. As I was recording this, I checked the odds again to make sure, and they changed since the last time I looked at them. And nope, there's Mr. Irrelevant above Christian McCaffrey in the MVP odds, who had 140 yards last game and 2 touchdowns, and somehow he goes down in the MVP odds to 7th best. I was going to talk about the fact that a dude with 1,300 scrimmage yards and 16 touchdowns in 11 games from the running back position is somehow behind a quarterback in Lamar who has 18 total touchdowns in 1 more game than him, but he's not even above his own quarterback. This is just absurd. And don't even get me started on Myles Garrett not even being top 14. At certain points of the season, he has completely taken over games and won them for the Browns in a way that I've only seen a few defensive players ever do. 13 sacks in 11 games, terrorizing every quarterback. The man is out there blocking kicks, and you have him tied with Josh Dobbs? Below Trevor Lawrence, who, by the way, is also above Tyreek Hill. who has 12 passing touchdowns this season. Myles Garrett's also below Jared Goff. Did you see him against the Bears? The Bears. Am I watching the same games? Did I get a different NFL TV package? I don't understand. It's like nobody's watching the games. And the people who are making these odds and doing the voting are just watching the stats pages. And I'm not sitting here saying that Myles Garrett should win it. Absolutely not. But I will say with all my chest that he is more valuable to making the Browns the best defense in football than Brock Purdy is for game managing the 49ers offense. Something so easy that Jimmy Garoppolo could do it. And you saw what Jimmy Garoppolo truly is this year in Vegas. He got benched for a rookie quarterback that was drafted in like the 4th round. Garrett was hobbled this past week, and look at how much worse that defense was when he's not 100%. I know it's a quarterback award, and I know it's a quarterback-driven league. But when we're getting to the point that Dak Prescott is starting to look like a viable option at this point for MVP this year, something's gone wrong. I've seen the discourse that usually there's somebody having an immaculate season, and this year there just isn't one. But, somebody has to win the award, right? And I partially agree with that. There's no quarterback having an immaculate season. So unless one of these quarterbacks plays absolutely out of their minds down the stretch, my MVP vote, if I had one, which obviously I don't, is going to whichever of CMC or Tyreek Hill plays the best in the next 6 weeks. That's really what it comes down to. Because this season, to me, I don't think any quarterback deserves the MVP award. There's only 2 players in my eyes that I see as the most valuable this season. Neither of them are quarterbacks. And that's okay. It's okay if the most valuable player this year doesn't play necessarily at the most impactful position. Okay to admit that. Okay to let one of those guys win the award, as they probably should this season. Oh, before you go, if you like that video, hit that subscribe button. If you want more passionate content from me, hit the like button if you like the video, obviously, why would you not? And give me a comment down below, because I really like talking to you guys, and also it helps in the algorithm. I'll be honest, this is kind of why I want it, but I also like talking to you guys. I would really appreciate it. Okay, I think that's it. Later, bye.